Ron Boone's got ants in his pants. He's ready to dance, but that's because Giannis put on a show that the Jazz couldn't handle. Bucks and Giannis knock out the Jazz. We're talking about it next on POSTCAST. Are you dancing yet? Okay.
I am.
You are Locked On Jazz, your daily podcast on the Utah Jazz. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
David Locke, along with Ron Boone, as the Utah Jazz fall to the Milwaukee Bucks 125-110. Here's what we got coming up on the program. We'll close it out with our reliability pluses like we always do. We'll break down the play of the various Jazz youngsters. Keyonte George, second straight game coming off the bench. How did he react tonight? Jazz wanted to push the tempo early with Isaiah Collier. Were they able to do that? We're going to start it off all with Giannis Antetokounmpo. I'm David Locke, radio voice of the Jazz. Ron Boone, analyst here for you as the Jazz get ready to head to Golden State. So we're quick out on this one tonight. We'll play tomorrow against the Warriors. But, Ron, Giannis is a story tonight. Jazz tried to come with a game plan, really not having Walker Kessler in this matchup. Probably the game you need Walker Kessler more than any other all season long.
Yeah, someone that can, for the most part, have Giannis looking for him when he's at the rim and trying to score at the rim for the most part. Giannis, 35 points and 23 shots. That's about what he averages shots per game, but that percentage is just unreal. 16 for 23, 18 rebounds. It's what a player.
The final number is just crazy. The Bucks go 15 of 15 in the restricted area tonight.
Ooh.
They did not miss a shot in the restricted area. They go 17 of 25 in the paint non-restricted area tonight. That's the story of the night. The Jazz, on the other hand, were 9 of 16, which is totally normal. That's like what you're supposed to do. But a team did not miss a single shot at the rim all night long, and then they go 17 of 25 in the paint non-restricted area. That is really a sign that you just don't have any interior defense available to you.
Right, and I was just thinking about that too, David. The Jazz they get to their numbers for the most part as far as scoring per game, points per game. It's the defense is very inconsistent from quarter to quarter that gets them in trouble, I think.
Jazz are going to be really happy about a bunch of things offensively. Like Evan Brad said to us at the half, we have 9 or 10 corner threes. They got the looks. They end up taking 40 above the break threes tonight. They only make 11 of them. They're just not shooting the three well. But they do get 14 corner threes. I mean, those are the kind of things where Will Hardy talks about getting the passes, making the plays, getting rid of the ball. I thought they made pretty good decisions with the ball tonight. They're just not shooting it well. Some of these guys aren't very good shooters, which is part of the reason. And they're going to have to get better at that. But I think, when you start looking at how they execute, that's pretty good. And the big story from the Jazz offensively, frankly, is that Lauri Markkanen is just nowhere close to what he usually is as a shooter right now. This is 4 straight games. He is really far off the mark right now.
Yeah, 2 for 12 from the three-point line, 8 for 18 in 36 minutes, and that's not what we're used to seeing. Thanks, Thurl.
I mean, so you said he's 2 of 12 while you recover from Thurl tapping your butt.
Right.
He is now 9 of his last 44 from 3.
And that's not what we're used to with Lauri. He's really, for the most part, pretty consistent. Some of his shots that he's getting, I mean, he's setting up, he's shooting it correctly. You touched on something. He was hitting the front part of the rim. Like he was just coming up a little short. Tired legs? I don't think so. I don't think that's it. I think hopefully he comes around.
And then he went long on the next one after that. Jazz did get 2 very good shooting nights tonight from Brice Sensabaugh as well as Jordan Clarkson. Let's talk about JC for a second. Came off the bench and he flamethrowed it there for a little while, had the crowd into it and rolling.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he does. I mean, he can get hot on you. 4 for 8. 3. What did he make? 4 in a row? Yeah, I think they were. I think he made the 4 in a row from the three-point line, and that's what you're going to get out of him. I mean, I'm glad to see him back. I'm sure he's glad to be back out there on the floor there as well. But that's Jordan Clarkson's game.
Ron Boone talked in the pregame show of tonight's game that he was watching early to see if the Jazz were able to get into offense early because that's what they worked around and shoot around it with Isaiah Collier, trying to pick up the tempo. Jazz have been playing faster recently, so we will discuss that as we continue. Today's show is brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. FanDuel's official sportsbook of Locked On and the official sportsbook of the NFL and partners with the NFL for Super Bowl. So with Super Bowl 59 here. One game, two teams, endless possibilities for you. There's no better way to get your every play more exciting with a FanDuel Sportsbook, whether it's predicting the first touchdown, calling the MVP, or even betting on the coin toss. FanDuel makes it easy to get in on the action with live betting all game long, and you can adjust your bets as the game unfolds. Feel the thrill from kickoff to the final whistle. Live betting feature lets you stay involved no matter what happens on the field, and the app is easy to navigate. Plus, knowing that you can place a $5 bet and potentially win $200 in bonus bets for the Super Bowl, that's icing on the cake. Download the app or head to FanDuel.com to get started. But just $5, and if you win, you'll score $200 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com. Bet with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of Super Bowl 59. All right, Ron, you opened up the broadcast saying the thing you were watching is whether the Jazz could get into faster tempo tonight, trying to pick up the way they're playing. They used to be one of the slowest teams in the league. They've been improving at that progressively. What did you see?
I saw that happening. And this works best with Collier on the floor because he's really used to playing a little bit faster. He does push the basketball off the floor. They had plenty of time to do it tonight because Bucks shot 60%, so they were taking it out of the net quite a bit. And so going forward, and I know they started the season off wanting to play like that, just hoping they continue to do this because I think it really gets everyone moving to the point where you're just not standing still or sitting at the three-point line waiting to shoot three-point shots. You get John Collins back, and I think that adds to it.
At halftime tonight, Evan Brad said to me that he was bothered by the amount of blow-bys defensively, that they have to tighten that up. Did you see that tonight?
This and also their game one, I think one of the coaches was telling me that they did the same thing with picks. I mean, you're setting a pick, they blow right by the pick, which means our picks were soft, and they were able to break the defense down and that kind of thing.
All right, Jazz tonight fall to the Bucks. Final score 125-110. The headliner coming in was Will Hardy kind of commenting pregame about Keyonte George. It was the first time the media had been able to ask him since he made the starting lineup change. And Will was, as he often is, incredibly transparent and said basically he wants three things. He wants better on-ball defense, he wanted better team defense, and he wanted unbridled competitiveness from Keyonte George. I don't think unbridled was his word, but that's the concept. What did you see from Key coming off the bench?
I saw him working very, very hard on man-to-man defense, position defense. Damian Lillard took him to the hole a couple of times, and that was because I thought Keyonte just didn't keep sliding. But Damian is very good. I mean, and I think will see that he was working very hard trying to stay in front of Damian, and so that was, he'll probably be pleased with that.
So that's where Will's comment to close. Will had this, I used it on the Locked On Jazz today, had this kind of incredible comment to me at the end of the postgame where Lauren Green asked him about Filipowski, and then he pivoted at the end and said, along with every other young player, here's what I want. And it was like, oh, this is the message he wants out tonight. So we're going to replay the final 13 seconds of this press conference on Locked On Jazz twice. This is what I did this morning. And it basically was that without kind of unbridled competitiveness, we can't have development. That's where development starts. And it's really true. Like in this case of Keyonte, if you're getting the effort and you're trying, well, then we can start to adjust the fundamentals. Like one of the plays where he gets called for a foul, he does cut off the line of Dame Lillard. Well, you can look at the film and say, okay, well, if you try that hard and we defensively, the rule is giving you this line. You can't step toward the ball handler. But if you hold your ground, if I'm guarding Ron right now, and Ron, the new way they're calling it is if Ron comes into me, that's not a foul on me anymore. But if I go into Ron as the defender, that is a foul. Right. And he went into Lillard very, very clearly. There was a play later where Filipowski didn't go into Lillard and didn't get called for the foul. Yeah. So, but if you get the effort, then you can teach that technique.
Teach that technique, and don't forget, Damon's really smart. And he,
Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he takes it. One motion is like he's going to go up and shoot the basketball, but he's coming into you here. And that's how he gets to the free throw.
You guys know he really wanted to put the elbow right there. He wanted to so badly. He just decided it would be bad on camera to do such a thing. Just a side note, since we talk about our young players all the time, Kyle, the word is out on Kyle. He is now the pigeon. Every team is shooting at him. It's like feels unfair. Feels like there's constitutional amendments against this. But it's really hard for him. He's going to have to figure it out because he is not going to be a rim defending big. So he is going to be a switching big, and he is going to have, if he's going to play in this league, he's going to have to guard in space. That's Walker Kessler has learned how to do it, but he doesn't have to do it because Walker can just stay by the rim. Brook Lopez doesn't have to guard in space very often. He just stays by the rim. Kyle Filipowski will never be a good rim protector, so he has to learn how to guard in space.
Must. That is a must for him to be able to guard in space, and got to get his foot speed is not. Whether he needs to bring his feet closer together so he's moving faster or, something like that. I mean, those big, long steps are slow if you're going to try to stay in front of someone.
I'm not sure.
You see in practice where they work on those choppy steps, right, with the ladders on the floor. That's
interesting.
Something like
That's
that.
That's why
is
they
about.
do that.
Right.
Oh, I didn't know. I actually probably hadn't put the two skill sets together, actually, in all truthfulness. All right. I don't know that Will Hardy is going to give out a reliability plus on a night where the opponent shoots 60%. That's the only thing I might say on this one tonight. I don't think we were terrible. I thought a lot of guys played hard, but Milwaukee shot 60%. That never happens anymore in the NBA. Though I will say this, their offensive rating was only a 124, which is really high, but it's not insane. Two notes, by the way. First time that Dame and Giannis scored 35, and the big three, which I'm assuming is Middleton, scored and assisted on 114 of their 125 points. So they are very top-centric. Who are your reliability squares tonight?
Well, this is I'm going to go with Eubanks and Collier. And then I got Keyonte, Sensabaugh, and Clarkson.
Oh, so you're giving up 5 tonight?
Yes. I just like Sensabaugh I like guys that can do something for the team in a short period of time. And I think we got that out of 2 players tonight, that's for sure. And that would be Clarkson and Sensabaugh.
And you gave Eubanks
he got 10 rebounds, and he is in such a tough situation.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
I do.
That is Locked On Jazz Postcast tonight. Thanks very much for tuning in. Make sure you check out Locked On NBA Game Night after every game, every night on Game Night. Have a great one. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much. Locked On Jazz will come to you from San Francisco tomorrow morning. See you.